Let me see. Let me record. Okay, so we record now. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chop It Up TV. This is your resident homie, Uncle Freezy, with the Flo-Town legend himself, Bodie.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Yo, I've been knowing this cat for like 20 years. 20 years, and he is truly and indeed one of the type of people that once you get them in your life, you kind of want to have them around forever because of the intangible stuff they bring to the table. So I met Bo a long time ago, doing fantasy football, ironically, and we had a small conversation the first time we met. He probably don't even remember. But I was like, yo, I was telling Mocha, I was like, Mocha, this cat is sharp as a tack. You know what I'm saying? And he can eat too to be that thin. You think like this dude, you think this dude can't eat nothing. This dude been eating the whole time he been here. but anyways, chop it up. Everybody say what's up to the homie Craig, to the homie Bodie.
What's happening? What's happening, Free?
So I wanted to get you on, man, because we generally have conversations that I find to be thorough and be full of nuggets. Like every time we talk, we generally have takeaways and stuff like and some of that stuff I want to share. Of course, a lot of the conversation is me and your conversation. It ain't meant for the world. But
right.
parts of it though I found to be kind of profound. And on Chop It Up, generally what we set this thing up to do is to help people by just having, just regular conversations and stuff. But with all that being said, man, so you posted something on Facebook the other day about relationships, and it set Facebook on fire. I thought Facebook was going to shut down, man.
We talking about the one about the what a man is looking for when he's choosing a wife and so on and so on.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah. I think part of that is like it's not speaking for every man, but I would probably say, most men that I've run across, I'll say 80% of the men I run across, if they're in that place in their life and they looking to settle down, are they looking to take on a wife? There's certain things they already got in their head that they're looking for, and definitely the last thing on the list is dealing with a problematic, drama-filled woman or a drama-filled man either. But I'm speaking on from a man perspective. Right. So
yeah, I feel you on that. And the problem-full drama queen woman, you said the last thing on the list. I know some cats that don't even want that to be on the list. At all.
Yeah.
They don't. And it's not because they're not equipped to handle other people's problems.
Right.
What it is is they feel like it's an unnecessary part of the equation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those deals where it's like, I'm gonna marry her, but basically I want all these things that I want out of a marriage, and whatever it is that she brings to the table, if it rocked the boat a little bit, we not getting married, period. And we not even, it's not even up for discussion. And we're not gonna negotiate. If she don't bring these things to the table, then we not gonna do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like, I don't know no one man that goes in and says he wants to marry the woman that gossips.
Right.
Like, no, I don't. I mean, we just so happen to get that, but I think if you had some things on a list, you would take. She loves to gossip. You would take that right off the list, because with gossip comes drama, and come gossip come lies, and that's all kind of. You don't want to invite that into your relationship already. You don't want that in there. And if you're dealing with someone like that, it's gonna have some problems.
Right.
That's just one thing. That's just one thing. I just think like no one really wants a gossipy woman.
Right.
You know, even though we all gossip, but you know, it's not one of the things you're looking for.
Right. And you know what? Another thing too is, a lot of times, so there'd be some lies told, some exaggerations, some partial truths, but there are also some truths that we don't want the public to know. Like there's things that go on with me and Mocha. I don't want Bodie to know that stuff. To me, that ain't none of Boat business. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
And the same thing with Boat, like when with you and Miss Boat, whoever it is, you know, some stuff you don't want, you know, Freezy to know. Like why would he even, you know what I'm saying? Like why would I even be interested in that? Right. And the thing about that is some women put that stuff out there to kind of validate who they are as people when they don't necessarily have to do that. Like who are you looking to validate yourself with? If you're already with somebody has already invested enough into you and your relationship where you don't necessarily have to do that outside the house or whatever.
Well, I mean, this should be things that we definitely, I wouldn't share with anyone. You got to share them with someone, obviously, but at the same time, I get where you're going, but I think we overshare. Like,
yeah,
I mean, we overshare. If we're not talking about it, we posting it. If we're not posting it, we taking pictures of it and putting it out there. So, so in that regard, there are certain things you just want to be held sacred to you and to your spouse or your loved one. You want to hold sacred. Everything is not meant to be put out there. So if you're dealing with someone who everything has to be out there, like then you automatically eventually gonna start feeling uncomfortable because you don't feel like, you know, there's nothing that's off limits. You know, I wouldn't. There's some things that, you know, I would share with. I wouldn't share with my mom or my brothers about a particular things going on in the relationship because they're gonna still carry it, and I'm over it, and they're gonna still carry that. I mean, it goes both ways. It's just human nature, but you got to be careful and wise with what you're sharing with people also outside of your relationship.
Right. So let me ask you this. So what is the deal with men being in this headspace of being non-committal to most relationships? And I say, when I mean most relationships, I'm talking about romantic, friendly, and all types. Is that something that I think is, maybe I'm overreacting, but what do you think?
When you say non-committal, like you mean like we are an item, we're a couple, we are boyfriend, girlfriend, this my boo, like what do you mean? Like
no, she my boo when we together, but then when we not together and other chicks walking around, you like, nah, we just kicking it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, so we're not holding it down. We're not holding her down like she holding us down. That comes from the all right. Example I can give you is like, remember when we were kids and we, you know, you probably drove to school, but you know, I rode the bus. But when you're at the bus stop and you might, in the community I lived in, there was like 2 or 3 buses that came through. And so you would be at the bus stop waiting on the bus to come. First bus come by and it's like, it's full, but do you want to still try to get on this bus? Or can you wait? Or are you going to wait for the next bus to come through? So you know there are 2 more buses coming behind it, but you don't want to miss, you're afraid you're going to miss this ride. So you're going to hop on the first bus and it's crowded. Now you know, so I say that to say that we kind of even though we non-committal, we might be committed. We might not want to let that woman go, but we're not really 100%. We're not sure about the next bus. So that's why, like, we are sure about the next woman that's gonna come through. Cause we still we searching for something. We don't really know what it is. We know what it's not, but we still don't want to commit because there might be something better to come along. And that's nothing against the woman or anything in it. It's just I built in that something better is going to come along, and we don't want to be too tied up to it that we can't go out there and get it. So that's why sometimes when we're not so quick to claim. Well, let's put it like this: we'll claim them amongst men, but we won't claim them out publicly amongst women because we don't want to lessen our chances of maybe picking up Miss Right if we don't already have Miss Right, or we don't feel like we have Miss Right.
Right.
But I say all that to say we're not mature.
Okay.
I say all that to say we're not mature.
When you was running that scenario just now, it was like, to mine, it was like the perfect example of what it is when we talk about relationships, because I would crowd that bus, just like what you said, using the bus scenario. I would crowd that bus and stand up and lean in all of them weird turns on them roads that we take to get to school, because I know the cheese toast gonna be fresh and it's gonna be chocolate milk there. You know what I'm saying? So do I wait on the second bus where I can sit down and maybe do my homework on it and get there and the cheese toast done got hard and ain't no more chocolate milk. It's all white milk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm weighing like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? So it goes. So when you were saying that, I could do like some kind of weird, I guess, cost analysis popped into my head, but whatever. It's like, do you go through the struggle on the first bus knowing that there's a reward, you know what I'm saying, by taking that first bus, or do you take your chances in this bus scenario? Basically, do you play the field? Do you play the odds? Hoping you can get the perfect scenario where you can sit and do your homework and get the chocolate milk and the good cheese toast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel what you're saying, and not so you wouldn't know what good cheese toast and chocolate milk is, because I think you went to Wilson, right? You went to Williams.
No, I went to Williams Middle School and Wilson, and the illustrious Wilson High School. I definitely went there. I most definitely.
So you wouldn't know what ice cold chocolate milk is.
I would know. We would definitely know. We would know. If we didn't know anything else, we know how we would eat. We would fed. They fed us well.
Right. Okay. That's and for the Chop It Up crew that watches around the country or whatever. So Wilson High is a historically Black high school. So
yes, it is.
I moved to South Carolina and I went to the Mayo High School, which is another historically Black high school. And so the schools are kind of rivals, have been rivals over the years since maybe like the 40s or whatever. And so we take carte blanche and sending jabs at each other because of two schools rivalries.
But we might be we rival, but we can relate. We can relate
at the same time. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Hey man, let me ask you. Speaking of Wilson High, right? Do you believe that the kids and people and people in the school districts now still have the love for the historically Black high schools and institutions? Do you think there's an appreciation there aside from the alumni from years gone by?
I would say I could be perfectly honest and say I didn't have any pride or anything about going to Wilson. My 4 years leading while I was there, it was just some place I had to be. Right. but the community, so while you in the building yourself, you know, I think the teachers and the educators did a great job of kind of showing us, or kind of like you really didn't know from the inside. I knew more. I would say I respect it from a Mayo standpoint because we were on the outside. You know, when you could see the struggles, the struggles of a historical Black high school in Darlington versus what was going on across town.
Right.
You know, so, and we had similar issues, but we were in it. So we just I didn't see it that way. It wasn't until I went off to college and then started seeing how other alumni, Tiger alumni was spread out. And then like you could go to a particular school and meet someone that knew a Tiger.
Right.
You get, and so, and then you started coming back for, like, you came back for the holidays of homecoming, and you start seeing how everyone was eager to get together and hang out. It, you know, not while I was in it, but maybe 5 years after, once I left school, I kind of started developing that Tiger pride a little more, and now fully entrenched in it. There's no better high school on the planet than Wilson High School.
Or in
Florence.
Or in Florence.
Well, definitely Florence, but not on the planet. But you know, I think, you know, I wouldn't be the only person that you can survey a lot of people in Florence and they tell you the same thing. Right. As with Darlington, I was in Darlington also.
Well, I don't know about Darlington part, but okay. So I say that to say this. While I was at Mayo, there was a tremendous feeling of pride because everywhere that Golden Bears went, we were the underdog in everything. Right. So we were the underdog, and so we were underfunded, understaffed, underappreciated, under everything, and at the same time, we knew that the doomsday scenario was coming. We didn't know if it was going to be class of 91, class of 93, class of 95. We knew at some point that you would have to combine these high schools because you basically, and as far as the financial part goes, I understand you wasting resources on two different schools, where if you combine the schools, you can put all the resources in one. But the thing about it though is you lose identity, you know, of a school by when you do that. And it happens all over the country. It's not just the Mayo scenario. But I didn't understand the depth of pride until I did my Army year. So I joined the military. And you know, would come home and see somebody be cooking a hog, and it'd just be 30 Golden Bears somewhere just drinking and talking and, you know, and eating or whatever. And so then I did my college years. I've never gone to a historically Black college or university. So I've gone to, and this is a shame, but I've been to 5 universities, attended 5 universities, working on certain levels of continuing my education or whatever. But the thing about that though is my calling card or my excuse is I never stopped trying to get where I wanted to be, achieve my. But attending mainstream colleges and universities made me appreciate Mayo High School even more, because there was a school pride, but there was no family aspect to it. You know what I'm saying? There was there was camaraderie, but there was not a sense. There was no other so I've joined fraternities. I've been to colleges and universities. I've been in the military and have done a lot of stuff and been in a lot of groups or communities or whatever. But there's nothing like that feeling of being a Golden Bear. And the funny thing about being a Golden Bear part is, so Mayo was really small compared to Wilson. So our community, we would get together, and if we got like 50 people, it would be in a newspaper like, oh my gosh, Mayo had 50 people at such and such thing, you know. And so Wilson could have 800 people at an event, right? And it would be
Yeah.
like, well, man, we so spread out, man. People was coming and going. It wasn't quite like what we thought. You know?
Yeah.
But the power in that 50 was something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
get together and rehash, and we would rehash everything that happened on Homecoming 1984. Somebody would be there and know all the details and such. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I'm sure Wilson has the same thing. But the reason why I asked that question is, man, I'm 47, right?
Yep.
And Lil Freezy graduated from the new Mayo. Junior graduated from the new Mayo, right?
Right.
They'd have no sense of pride in that high school. That's the reason why I asked the question. If you have the feeling that the new Tigers feel the same as y'all.
Not. I think they do. I think they've done a great job in I think they have a little more. I think they have more awareness just based upon the groups, the alumni committee
Right.
that's active. They're front and center. Definitely not as much. Maybe, and I don't know these things. I'm just going off of what I see. I think we're there. We show up in abundance for any type of activities.
Right.
Sporting events and things of that nature that we'll show up, and so they see it in the alumni in that regard, but I don't think they really get a true understanding of it until they leave, until you step away from it for a little while. I think that's probably true for anyone. Now we're both at an age where like we have, well, now our kids are followed in our footsteps and graduating from our schools that the schools that we ran the halls of. So those parents are probably doing a better job of instilling it in them that they can connect with them on that level. But I don't think that's as a whole until they get away from it, and then they start getting out into the real world. Like they start going to colleges, and if you're going to a historically Black school, then you're probably going to transition easy. If you're not, and if you go into one of the public schools, and it's, you're going to have a harder might have a harder transition. And I think those kids when they come back off their holiday after breaks and stuff like that, they appreciate where they came from, which was Mayo and Wilson High. But not in it. I don't think they get it. I don't think they know it while they're in it.
Right. So basically it's the same thing for us. Then it's about gaining some perspective after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I say that, and shout out to all the Wilson Tigers that I know. Y'all are pain in the ass sometimes, but they are proud.
Absolutely.
they are proud. They are loud and proud.
I can almost guarantee you, if you ride down Oakland Avenue on any given day at any given time, you might find somebody walking down the street with a purple and gold shirt on. I promise you. No matter what time of day it is, you'll find somebody that's on the street walking with a Wilson Tiger shirt on.
And the funny thing is, you're absolutely right. The funny thing is, you're absolutely, because so and I say that because when I go to Walmart, man, I'll at any given time in Walmart parking lot, you'll see the Mayo Golden Bears license tag on the front of somebody's car.
Right.
And you'll see 5 of them at any given time. And the high school has been closed for what, 25 years?
Close to it.
And they still pump money into the Golden Bear alumni. But let me ask you this, man. How do you feel about our community's handling of certain social issues that have happened, say within the past 5 to 6 years or so. You don't have to get specific on, say, a certain thing. I'm just asking
Okay.
for your feeling of how you of how you felt like things were handled, or if they could be been handled differently.
It depends. I won't hindsight it, because all due respect to those who might have been in it,
Right.
they were in it. They were in it.
Right.
Whether they made mistakes or not, they were in it. They were active in trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
So I won't hindsight it. I'll just say, I respect those who are, about action, about that life.
Make effort.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I won't, I can't second guess anyone on that.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So the reason why I brought that up, and
Mhm.
and and part of it is because your background reminded me of a time where um, there was pride in um, everything that we did in the Black community. Um, so, say for instance, when Muhammad Ali was boxing, right?
Yeah,
We didn't just, and I say this as somebody that was really little during that time, like almost a baby during that time, right? But we
yeah,
took so much pride in Ali that the barbershop would have Ali posted. They would have Ali poster on one side and that George Gervin Iceman poster on
yeah,
on the
yeah,
other side, where we
yeah.
where we where we didn't look to where we didn't look to take advantage of situations or take advantage of each other. We just wanted to, express our pride in certain things, and as a matter of fact, it manifested into. Matter of fact, it's like what. So I do this podcast with Sim Russell.
Mhm.
I have to link y'all up, man, because he's one of
Okay.
the sharpest dudes that I know. But so we talk about hip hop, right?
Mhm.
About how hip hop and rap music, um, like rap music didn't create the hip hop culture, but how the hip hop culture created rap music. You know what I'm saying? And I know for some they're like, what's the difference? But in hip hop, this culture that was cultivated back in the early '70s or whatever had people in it like Ali saying, respect him as a man, call him by his name. He have
Right.
the right to practice his own religion. He not gonna be the man, the corporate man that y'all want him to be, but he gonna be the man that God wants him to be. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
all these things,
Mhm.
and how that time frame created these heroes like our appreciation for cats like Langston Hughes, who wrote poetry about the struggles of things in Harlem during his time, and um, how it was so poignant that 50 years after he wrote that stuff, the same issues persisted. So you can go back and read his stuff at a later time, and it would still be spot on. And so I say that to say, um, somebody my age had this lineage of heroes. Like Martin Luther King Jr. died before we were born, but his presence was still somewhat, or his presence was still felt even as we were like little kids growing up, um, going to school when he, say 10 years after he was murdered. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of these deals where, um, you know, we had this line of heroes, but I don't know if we have the same thing now. I think things are different. You still there, dog? Okay. I think we might have lost both. But anyway, my point was the point that I was getting to is that um, I don't know if we still have the same line of heroes that help us make it through our day-to-day life. I don't know if we have heroes that we could point to be examples for certain things that we do, so that we can live a better and more fruitful life. Because we watch somebody go through these certain things, and while they may have struggled with it, they made it through with persistence and pride. And for them paving the way, we can step in right before or right after and follow in their footsteps and have an easier path. Still have pride and still be persistent and strong, but at the same time, still be persistent and have that stick-to-itiveness and be strong in it. So I'm gonna just say thank you to everybody that's watching the video. I'm gonna say shout out to my man Boat, who graciously came on. I've been wanting to get him on for a while. Just so that he can talk about some stuff. I think I might have lost him, but I'm gonna ask him to come on again at some point so that we can get deeper into stuff. So anyway, thank y'all for watching, and I appreciate it.